Hello everybody and God bless. So I had this dream this morning. So to get started in the dream, I was in somebody's body and she was at the doctor's office and she had to get 3 shots in her left hand. I just had a knowing. I knew what she felt. I knew what she was thinking. I knew everything about her. It was as if her and I were the same people. And she had a doctor, and I just also had a knowing that he was the it doctor. Like, he was a top doctor. He was the most handsome doctor. Everybody wanted him. And this lady also was like, oh, he's cute. And like, our thoughts, like, I knew what she was thinking and stuff like that, and it was so real to the fact that I felt like she was me. So I heard that thought, and that was it. It was just like, yeah, he's cute, whatever. But I also knew that she was feeling like she needs to hurry up and get out of there, hurry up and leave. And so the doctor was teaching these other students there, and I can't remember what exactly they were doing, but they were doing like some doctor stuff to learn, I guess. And so the doctor got distracted and walked off, and so she yelled out to him and was like, hey, you need to sign me out some discharge papers. And he was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. And since he was like the it doctor, he didn't really need proper discharge papers. He just needed a piece of paper and to sign his name on it. So he signed his name, and then he didn't like it. He's like, I don't like the signature. And then he picked out another paper, and I think the papers were in his pocket or something like that, and it got smeared somehow. He then just went to find some other papers to write on, and he saw that there was a new stack of papers that had came into the office, and he grabbed one of them and he looked at it, and he noticed that it was a diagram of a baby inside a woman's stomach, a full-grown baby. It showed the baby's, the woman's stomach, and it all the way down to like her pelvis area. And it was a diagram, so it was just like her pelvis area was just bone, but the diagram was really showing the baby and where the baby was and how the baby was projected. And it was supposed to be a diagram to teach the doctors how to do a proper abortion. And he looked at it, and yeah, he was upset that they had this there, but he still filled it out, and he instantly knew what to do. He looked at it, and he was like, yeah, you just put something in through there and the baby will come out this way. And he got upset. He's like, this is disgusting, this is messed up, we don't do abortions here. And somebody said, they was like, yeah, they did away with Roe versus Wade, now we can do this. And everybody looked really confused, because think about it, you do away with Roe versus Wade, that means that they can't do abortion, right? So then the lady who I was in, she was like a truther. Like, she had a lot of knowledge, okay, about like the government and what they're doing secretly. So she was like a truther. And she said to them, she said, doing away with Roe versus Wade not only takes the right away from a woman, it also allows them to force any procedure on a woman, which means that they can do whatever they want to women. And they were all like, oh, like what? And I looked at the paper, and the paper had like a date on it, and it was a 1-digit number that I focused on. And I don't remember what digit it was. I don't remember if this digit was the month, the day, or the year. I don't know, but I just knew it was 1 digit, and that's what I focused on. And it was either 3, 4, 5, or 6. So, and then she was thinking to herself, like, I need to hurry up and get out of here. I need to get out of here right now. So then she left, but she was really poor, so she had to walk home. And so as she's walking home, she had passed a bridge, underneath the bridge, and as she got on the other side of underneath the bridge, she saw that there was a table that was set up, and it was literally, they were sitting there with the mark, and they were forcing people to take the mark. And she thought to herself, she said, if they try to force that on me, I'm gonna tell them that I just got shots on my left hand, and they can't do it because they were only giving it to them on their left side. And so she was like, well, that's what I'm gonna tell them. Like, I just got shot, so they can't give that to me right now. But I had a knowing that she didn't want it at all, but she was just gonna say that so that way she can get out of it that day if they tried to force it on her. So as she's walking, she passes, so she's like going one way, and these people are coming past her, and it's homeless people that are coming. These elite people were holding them and forcing them towards this table to go force the mark on them. And she's passing them, and these homeless people, they had spoons, very valuable spoons in their hand, and they had threw it towards her as she was passing them, and they were like, you can have these now, because there's no point in us having these now that they're about to force this on us. There's no point in this stuff. And they were yelling at these elite people like, why us, we're just homeless, we haven't done anything, we didn't do anything, why are you doing this to us? And they knew that once they got this in them, nothing mattered. So that's why they threw away their valuables, because they were like, it doesn't matter and stuff like that. So the lady, this is how I knew, like, she was a truther, but she didn't fully, I don't think she knew that the mark was the mark. I don't think she knew that taking the mark would change who she is, because she saw them throw that and she was thinking to herself like, I mean, aren't they gonna just come back and get them back? Like, I know they're gonna get this force on them, but they can come back and get it. So it's like she didn't know what would happen, but she just knew she didn't want it in her. So as she's walking home, she gets to her neighborhood, and her neighborhood is literally run down, broken. Like, in order to get into her neighborhood, she gets to go through like a fence that was busted up. Like, it was just, there's trash everywhere. This place was like the poorest of the poor. Then this man came towards her, and he was like, he was also homeless, and he was super dirty, and he was trying to like pick her up, like trying to be like, hey, don't you want to like be with me tonight and all this stuff. And I had a knowing, like, I knew what she was thinking. And at this point, I was no longer like in her, and I wasn't like seeing through her eyes. I was now out of her, and I was seeing her. And so obviously she couldn't see me, so I guess I was like in the spiritual realm, but I had a knowing what she was thinking. And she saw this, and she thought to herself, this is literally what she was thinking. She was like, you're dirty, I'm not gonna do that with you, but if you wasn't dirty, then I would. Like, that's what she was thinking. But she just told him, she was like, no. And I can't remember if she said out loud that he was dirty or not, but she was just like, no, and she like got away from him. And so she gets home, and I'm still not in her anymore, I'm now just watching her. And she gets inside the house, and then it fast forwarded a little bit, and now all of a sudden, but let me hold on, I forgot to mention this part. So when she was in the doctor's office, it was bright and beautiful. As she's walking home, and they had this set up and everything like that, they had the set up, and it was still bright daylight outside. As she was getting closer to her neighborhood, that's when it started getting gloomy and just gross, like it was like gray, it was very gloomy. And then it fast forwarded a little bit to when it was like pitch black dark outside. So when it flash forward, she was now in her living room, where she didn't like have any furniture. She only had a TV in there, and I think she had one more thing in there. So, but she also had artwork, and she was sitting there on the floor doing art, but she had her headphones in, and it was really loud, so she couldn't hear what was going on outside. And then I instantly saw outside as well. Like, I looked at the door, I didn't even go out there, I wasn't transported out there. I was able to see through the door and see what was going on outside, but I knew that my spiritual body was still inside the house. So I'm looking outside, and I see how it got way worse. There's fires everywhere. It's disgusting. She couldn't hear any of this happening because she had her headphones in. And there was these people coming towards her. It was a man and a woman, and I knew who the man was, and I plan to put a picture of him up. And this is the man that I saw. And I saw this woman, and the man and the woman, they broke into her house. Now, she did not know that they were in her house because she had her headphones in. And then finally, when she noticed that they broke into her house, she turned around, and all she saw was the man, and she charged at him and like fought him. And then the woman who was there with the man, she saw everything happening, and she turned around and took a bat that she had with her and knocked out the original lady. So then when she had knocked out, it was like I was still connected to her. So when she had passed out, my whole vision that I saw, like all of that, everything that I could see, also blanked out. And then she had a dream. So this lady, as she's passed out, she's having a dream. And in the dream, so in her dream, so in my dream, I saw this lady in her dream. Okay, this is her dream. She was walking down a hallway, and she opened up the last door, and there was this gigantic spider looking locust monster thing coming towards her. And then behind that spider looking monster thing, there was another type of monster thing, and I can't remember what it really looked like. I think it was more of like a centipede looking, just some disgusting monster looking thing. And they were coming through the door. and it scared her and woke her up. So when she woke up, she saw that she was tied down to a chair, and her son, who was in the house, was also tied down to a chair. So I also forgot to mention, while she was doing her artwork, I also could hear his thoughts. So I knew he was like upstairs somewhere doing something, and I knew he was reading and learning. He was also a truther like his mom, but his information, he was way smarter than his mom, and he was learning something that led him to learn about the locusts. So I don't know if he was like reading the Bible or what, but he was starting to read something that was teaching him about the locusts and teaching him about what was coming. And so she had this dream. She woke up, and then when she woke up, she was tied to a chair, and her son was also tied to a chair right next to her. So she thought to herself for a second, because she had that dream, and she just knew. She goes, this is happening. Like, she thought that to herself, this is about to happen. She knew it was a warning. She instantly knew it was a warning. She thought to herself, she's like, I need to get out of these chairs. So she told her son, she was like, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to break this chair. And I could also see her thought process. She didn't tell her son, sorry. I could see her thought. She was just thinking this. She was thinking that she would go break the chair and she would tell her son to just sit there and she would untie him. So then I saw that happening, because that's like, I could see what she was thinking, and that's what she was thinking. She was thinking about doing that and doing that. Then I also saw what her son was thinking. Her son was also thinking about breaking off his chair, because he was very smart. And I had a knowing that she didn't think of him as a smart kid. She just thought of him as this little innocent kid. But he in reality was very, very smart. And I believe he was like 10 or 11. And he was very smart, and he wanted to do the same thing. But right before they were about to do whatever they were going to do, she heard a noise. And remember, I said that she was very poor, so she had a hole in her roof, and it didn't go all the way up to this, like, to outside. It was just a hole from the ceiling. It was a hole in the ceiling to the roof. Okay. And she looks up and she sees the body of the locust, and it was crawling past the hole. And I guess it didn't notice that they were there. So she was like thinking to herself, like, we need to be quiet. We need to get out of here. We need to be quiet. And the body of this locust was like a lobster body, and it was so disgusting. And she saw that, and she was like, we're gonna break through and we're gonna get out of here. When she saw that locust thing, I can't remember it happened like when she saw it or right before she saw it, but at one point she saw she had a vision. I knew it was a vision. She had a vision of a whole bunch of people that were in this field, and they were all looking up, and they were about to be raptured. And so even in the dream, when I saw that through her eyes, I was thinking, I was like, did that already happen? Is it about to happen? I don't know. But all I know is I could feel what she was feeling, and she was feeling like, we need to go and we need to get there. We need to get there. And then I woke up. I do want to explain, with everything going on with this lady, first of all, her looking at this doctor and saying he's cute, and then the man who was about to like trying to pick her up, who's disgusting, and she literally thought to herself like, oh, I'm not going to do this only because you're disgusting, but if he wasn't, I was. That tells me that she was definitely not a Christian. She was just a truther. She was just somebody who had a lot of information and just knew she didn't want to take the mark. And I've talked about my testimony about the mark and why I didn't take it when I was in the world and I was not of God at all, and I just knew, something in me told me, do not take that. So I definitely believe it was probably just God trying to reach out to her, giving her this dream that she had to show like, hey, this is happening. So that's telling me, like, I do believe that this is God coming to her, telling her like, you need to get right with me and be ready for the rapture. And she was thinking, she goes, I don't know where that was, but I just know I need to get there. And I think it was spiritually she needs to get right with the Lord to be raptured. So, but at the same time, I was like, I don't know if this happened already or is about to happen. I don't know. But for her to get a warning like that tells me that it didn't happen already. So anyways, so I definitely believe that this lady was not Christian at first. She didn't know that the mark was the mark. She just knew that it was bad news. And then with the whole Roe versus Wade and stuff like that, now they showed the abortion thing, and then they said they did away with Roe versus Wade. And obviously people will be confused about that, because Roe versus Wade, you do away with it, that takes away the woman's right to have an abortion, right? And then that's when the lady who I was connected to, that's why she had to explain to them, yes, that takes away the woman's right to have an abortion. because it's her right. Now that she no longer has a right, doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. It just means that it's against her will. And it takes away her right. And it's not just to have an abortion. It takes away her right to do anything. Like, so she had a knowing that they're going to start forcing this mark on people. And she instantly dropped in her spirit. So I definitely believe, once again, that God was really trying to reach out to her and trying to talk to her. Like, think about this. Think about this. You know, the spirit of wisdom was trying to come to her. So hopefully, you know, this is just a dream, but hopefully, you know, anybody in that situation gets right with the Lord. Anyways, so then they instantly, like, this is the same day. Like, I remember that they had outlawed Roe versus Wade the same day, hurried up and had it all in the doctor's office and everything like that same day. Sun hasn't even gone down yet. They already have sites set up to force this thing on people. They already have the elite out there forcing things on people. And then same day, everybody was activated. And then, but in the dream, I had a knowing, even though people were literally locusts, they were still forcing the mark on people. Same day. Okay, so this just all happened like boom, 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 boom. And she had passed these people, the homeless people, with the valuables, and they threw away because they knew, like, the valuables don't matter. It's not gonna matter when all this stuff goes down. And she saw that and she was like, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. And then that celebrity that I saw, I don't know if he took the mark or what. I just know that in my dream, I just had a knowing he was evil. That's literally what I thought when I saw him. I said, this man is evil, because he was laughing and joking. He would have killed her. He literally, he didn't care. He didn't care about it all. So I don't know that I acted like that. I don't have a heaven and hell to put anybody in. I don't know if he took the mark or not. But if he did, then that definitely makes sense. So and if he didn't, then I definitely will pray for him, but only if he didn't take it. So with her son, and this is another thing blowing in our face as parents, do not treat your children like they are some dumb child. Because in my dream, she literally thought of her child as some innocent, doesn't know anything, doesn't know what anything is going on. He doesn't know anything. And in reality, in my dream, he knew more than she did. And he was, I believe he was starting to read the Bible. Because think about it, Locust, where is that at in the Bible to read? That's why it's so important. You don't just throw your children away. And I've actually seen a video like that before about this kid was being interviewed about why he didn't want to take the mark. And he straight up said, I believe it's the mark of the beast. And his parent was like, well, I just want to see like what happens. And it's like, you can tell this kid did not get that from his mom, because if he got it from his mom would have also said it's mark of the beast, and she didn't. Only he did. And this is a little boy who said that. So that's why it's important that we don't just treat our children like they're idiots. We actually listen to our kids, because I definitely believe that there's more kids who are waking up more than adults today. If your kid has a dream, listen to it. Don't just blow it off. Your kid has a vision, listen to it. Don't just blow it off, okay? So, and then just more proof that I do not believe that she was a Christian. I don't believe that she knew all that stuff, because she had a knowing that they were going to start forcing this stuff on people, and she was still just chilling, you know, doing art, doing whatever, and she wasn't prepared. She wasn't prepared. She wasn't listening to, you know, the people telling us to get prepared, you know? So I think that's just another warning to not just take this stuff lightly. Listen to people when they tell you to be prepared. She literally didn't have anything in her house. She had her headphones in super, super loud. These people busted open her door so easily. And she also had her back towards the door too. So it just more showed like she just wasn't prepared at all. Like at all. So we have to be prepared, guys. Please, please be prepared. And pay attention to what's going on. Alright, so that's all I want to say. God bless you. Have a nice one.